Huh. We might have to go back to the cover crop guy that we interviewed before, Tanner. But
Well, and I'm
I
thinking,
already mentioned earlier the carbon credit. It is going to be a new thing that's huge.
yeah, I feel like today we're just discovering new episodes. So we're going to have to talk about the biologicals in the soil with Bodie, and then we're going to have to get someone on here to talk about the carbon market. I think that, Tim, is a very important factor that you just brought, and it's going to grow in interest. I think it's trading like the wild, wild west right now, but there could be a future of that. Off topic
There are companies out there that are trading it not wild, wild west style that are now going to the stock exchange, and you are going to be able to buy, sell credits, not like Bitcoin, but carbon credits, and it could be a new cash crop, if you will, for farmers.
Well, back to Covercress, Tim. You mentioned that it is part of pennycress. So is this a genetically modified crop, or what? What are they doing to be able to get this new oil seed?
Yeah, a little bit of a nuance there. So it's not a GMO because they're not taking a gene from another species and putting it in, but it is gene edited. So it is using that technology, that modern breeding technology to get to change the plant a little bit to get it their way. Because pennycress, as is a weed. So they're adopting it to their own needs, both in terms of what they need on the output and also what they need agronomically. But yeah, so it's pretty incredible what they've been able to do. But it's a huge mountain to climb, right? I mean, you've got to develop a market. You've got to obviously develop the technology itself. You got to get customers. And so they're really trying this whole value chain approach that others have tried and struggled with. So it'll be interesting. I hope that they're successful, but it is a whole lot to tackle on so many fronts.
And if I remember from listening right, their target is to be able to harvest this with the equipment a farmer already has.
Right. Yep.
So even though they're creating a brand new market, they're not trying to add a whole bunch of equipment to your fleet to make this go.
Yeah, they're trying to make it a really, not a heavy lift for the farmer. So the equipment you already have, and they're actually buying the seed. They're handling kind of the markets on the other side. So it's not like, well, if you happen to have a crusher close to you that will happen to take this product, go ahead and good luck. Like he used the example of hemp. That's kind of how hemp has come out, right? Like,
that's true.
Hey, we'll make it so you can grow it and then, figure out the marketing on your own. And some people are like, well, hold on.
That's one of the struggles. I've taken some classes on the hemp market, and in Iowa, we just don't have the infrastructure. We don't have anywhere to sell it, don't have the co-ops to take it and move it, and how do we make that product? And then I think of, you made me think of Tesla, and Tesla's coming out with something crazy that we don't have the infrastructure for the electric cars, however warranted or wanted. They use something that was very applicable. They have a 240 plug. We already use 240 electricity. We already have 240 plugs at Lowe's and Home Depot, and they made it something like that could have implement into every house. So I do think they're taking the right approach here, that they're trying to use the equipment that you already have, similar to Tesla, who's been very successful, and implement it into a new market.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're being super deliberate about it. I mean, Covercress has been around a while. They used to be called, I think it's Arvigenics is their first name. And so they've developed the technology over several years. And now I think they were planning on starting with like 5,000 acres with farmers, so very small. And they're taking the careful approach, which also gets back to your first question about where do tech companies go wrong? Over promise and underperform and try to do everything all at once. And so it has been a deliberate approach.
Well, now you got me thinking, Tim. So when you're getting ready to put episodes together for the Future of Ag podcast, what are you looking for when you're finding companies to interview or different leads to chase? How do you go about establishing a lineup of shows?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know that I have a method to the madness so much as, I say the show is about where innovative ideas meet practical realities. And so that's my starting place. I want to think of an innovative idea that has a reason that it could work in the near term. Secondly, I want a guest that's thinking about the why a lot. As you guys know, interviews can end really quickly if they don't have a why. Like, just cause. It's like, okay, well that was kind of lame. So people who are thinking about the why pretty deeply, it ends up being an interesting episode, even if on the surface it's not such an interesting topic.
Interesting. So, go ahead, Tanner. I got too many questions. There's too many. Go ahead.
No, that's where I wanted to go. Now the next one I felt kind of geeky when I was listening to it. It went way over my head, so I hope that you have a clear way of explaining it to our listener, because otherwise we're all hopeless. But the episode that had farm wave and harvest loss in it, start with I can't remember if it's the CEO or the owner. that guy had a really cool story. Could you
So
share
I've,
that?
I've never heard of this one. What is farm wave and maybe we should tell everybody what is farm wave and harvest loss.
Well, I think